Hi everybody. So making another video for September, which is Pain Awareness Month. And in these video series, what my purpose is to not only raise awareness, because people in chronic pain, we're already very aware of chronic pain and the issues that lie. But I actually want to create some awareness around tools that can be used for chronic pain, as well as sharing things that might be helpful for your friends and family to understand what it is like to live in chronic pain. And so this morning I was thinking about what I wanted to share, and I realized that if you don't know me, then you may not know some of my own personal story that and my relationship with chronic pain. And I also want to say that as a therapist, typically we're very much sort of a blank slate when we meet with our clients. That idea and notion is kind of going away as we evolve, because the relationship with our patients is actually the best indication of if you're going to feel better and if therapy is going to work for you. It's not the therapy itself, but it's the relationship with the therapist. And while you may not know details about my personal life, I do like to share with my patients that are in chronic pain that I'm also struggle with chronic pain. And the reason that I've decided to disclose that is to let people know, my patients, that they're not alone. Because when you struggle with something like chronic pain, it can feel very isolating. And people often say, "Oh, I know what you mean," and they don't know. They know what it's like to have the flu. They don't know what it's like to not get out of bed for, months, years, what have you. So that's always important to me that I share with that person, like, hey, I don't typically self-disclose a lot, but when I say that I know what you're going through, I absolutely know what you're going through, and I wish that I didn't, but I want you to know that my empathy towards you is coming from a very genuine place of understanding. And that helps, I think, to feel not so isolated in a very, very painful place physically and emotionally. So I do have chronic pain. I am diagnosed with complex regional pain syndrome, which is known as the most painful condition known to man. The pain levels go up to there's a pain scale, the McGill pain scale, and the pain levels on this actually exceed unmedicated childbirth, amputation of a finger, fibromyalgia, all that stuff. So pain, living with this condition is extremely painful. So I have had to really work personally to find things that work for me. And I've been on this journey. I actually got CRPS in 2011. I wasn't diagnosed until 2014. But since 2011, 8 years, I've been trying to figure out how to manage my own pain. And it has been one hell of a journey. Just let me say that. There's a lot of growth. There's a lot of learning curve here. So I wanted to share that because I think it is important. I'm not just saying, oh, here's a great book I read about it. Like, yeah, here are some great books that I read about it, but I also live with it, and this is how these books may help you. So with that, I did want to share some of my favorite books that I have read over the years and that I suggest to patients. And my first one is, I'm hoping that the writing isn't backwards when I show this, but the first one is How to Be Sick by Tony Bernard. And right off the bat, I hated the title of this book because I didn't want to be seen as sick. But the book is about how to live your life and not suffer because of what's going on around you. And it talks a lot about mindfulness. and it says a Buddhist-inspired guide for the chronically ill and their caregivers. So it talks about, fighting with reality and how that causes so much suffering, and how we can learn to kind of accept our pain, and make things better for ourselves. So this is the number one book that I always recommend to people. She wrote a second book, which is also really, really good, and it's called How to Live Well with Chronic Pain and Illness. Also really like this one. It's just a guide. She also lives with chronic pain. She was an attorney, a law professor, and she got sick and she never got better. And so these books are written from her perspective. They're very down to earth, very, very easy reads, and just you walk away feeling better after reading these. Another one that I really like isn't directly related to pain, but with pain we have a lot of emotional symptoms because of the pain that you're living in on a daily basis. So this is by Jon Kabat-Zinn, and a few others. I won't go into all their names, but Jon Kabat-Zinn is one of my favorite authors and creators of the Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction Program, which is an 8-week program that's designed to teach you how to meditate, develop mindfulness in your everyday life. I did the program back in 2015. It honestly changed my life, my relationship with pain, my relationship with myself, and it was a significant turning point in how I dealt with pain. So this book talks about how we get through the depression, and how we tend to make up stories about things, and then we respond to the story instead of the actual reality of what's happening, or how we can get stuck in ruminations. I've read this book so many times. I've given it away. I've bought it several times. Amazing book, easy read, and I think it also comes with a CD. I don't know how people even play CDs anymore, but it probably comes with an MP3 file now that has some guided meditations that are really helpful for when you're just not feeling great and you are feeling depressed. The other two books that I have, actually just got them last week, as I knew that this was Pain Awareness Month, and I wanted to expand my library. So the next one is The Mindfulness Solution to Pain. And so this is sort of like this book, but it is directed to pain. Has also got a foreword by my main man, Jon Kabat-Zinn, in there. I just started this one. I'm only on chapter 3, but it does give some really great advice on how to be mindful with our pain. And I'm going to be doing a more in-depth video on that, because I know people are like, I don't want to be mindful of my pain. I want it to go away. Well, guess what? If it's chronic, it's not going away, so we have to find a better way to live with it. And I have found that mindfulness has been the best teacher in order to do that. And just 2 more books. The next one is the Chronic Pain Care Workbook. And it uses behavioral therapy, CBT, to talk about pain and changing our thoughts around pain, and how to alleviate suffering, and how to understand your pain better. I got this, I think, on a used book site for a couple dollars, and that's pretty good. Don't buy these things new from Amazon. Don't pay $20 for them. There's a site called abebooks.com, and I think I really got this for like $3 with free shipping. So check that out. And the very last book that I have is actually a memoir, and this is written by Amberly Lago, and she is one of my Instagram friends. She also suffers with CRPS, and so this is a book about how she had a life-altering injury from an accident and developed CRPS, was in the hospital. She had 34 surgeries, and this is her journey. And her story really talks about resiliency and overcoming things, not giving up. And it was really great to read this book. I think I read it in like maybe 2 days. And she's incredible. She has a TED Talk out. Her Instagram is very inspiring. She's doing a lot of great work out there, and she's doing a lot of motivational speaking. So this book I would suggest you get from Amazon, so we can support Amberly. She's part of our community. But this is a really great book to just have, like, this person's actually, they know what I'm going through, and there's their story. I can read it and feel that I have some connection with somebody that might understand, and that I don't feel so isolated. That's why I really like memoirs. And this one isn't just a complaining memoir. It's very uplifting. And so those are just some books that I pulled off the shelf today. I have a lot more, but those are my favorite go-to books, and I wanted to share those with you, as I think that when we come across anything in our life that's new, why not research it? Why not learn everything that we can about it to figure out how this is going to fit into our life and how we can make our life, the best versions of ourselves, and give ourselves a quality of life that's worth living. So that is all that I have for today. This ran a little bit over. I feel like I ramble, but thanks for watching. And if you have a book that is helpful for you in your journey, please leave it in the comments below. And I would love to check it out. I'm an avid reader, as you can tell. This is all backwards. A lot of my books in the back, on other shelves in my room, they're everywhere in the house. So I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope that you're having a low pain day. See you soon.